Guys, thank you so much for joining us. Dot, I want to start with yourself. The Premier League have shown their full support behind the Black Lives Matter movement. The players are taking a knee before every game. Where there were names on shirts, it now embezzled with Black Lives Matter. Was it important for the Premier League to show their support for the BLM movement?
I think yes, but I don't want this to get in the way of the bigger picture. I believe Troy Deeney and Wes Morgan were, pivotal to get this over the line, and fair play to them because I think, they've been, pillars in this movement. But I don't want to be too quick to now pat the Premier League on the back and say, well done, great job, because I think now it's time for change and we really need to see change. And I'm not talking about change, in 5 years or 1 year. I'm talking about by the end of the season, I want to see some sort of tangible change or some sort of strategy and tactic to implement change in the future, because for far too long it's been lip service, and I don't think, lip service is going to cut it this time.
Clinton, how proud have you been, watching some of the younger black players almost put themselves forward to be role models in this situation? You look at what the likes of Marcus Rashford's been doing in the last couple of weeks, Raheem Sterling, Trent Alexander-Arnold wore boots on Sunday with Black Lives Matter embezzled on the boots. I think he's going to auction those and give that money to charity. You must have been proud watching these young guys put themselves forward.
Hugely proud. In all three of them you named, but obviously Sterling's come out. Sterling's been brilliant. Like for the last year and a half, he's a credit to himself. He's a credit to his family. The way he's acted, he speaks so intelligent for such a young person, and he's talking, and that's what he is. We've got the platform to talk and express ourselves, and long may it continue. As for what Marcus Rashford done. He's like my hero. He's 22 years of age and he's my hero and I'm older. Because what he's done, he's basically challenged the government and basically said, and we all know about school vouchers. I knew about it. Maybe the vouchers were different, but it was dinner tickets when I was growing up. And I needed them tickets to survive. So I think what Rashford, Raheem Sterling, and obviously also Trent wearing the boots with saying Black Lives That Matter on it. It's all brilliant. Everyone's trying to move in the right direction. I'd give the Premier League, I would give them a bit of, credit because the Black Lives Matters on the shirt and stuff like that. They are trying to slowly move forward, but I agree with Dot. It needs to happen sooner rather than later. It might not happen in my lifetime though. I don't know if it will happen. The two kids that I've got, I want it to, and they're my grandkids, I want it to happen in theirs where everyone's equal. We can all go out together on that pitch and we all feel equal. We're not worried about the color of our skin.
Doc, you mentioned you don't want lip service, you want the Premier League to do more. What more do you want the Premier League to do going forward? Again, we are seeing Black Lives Matter on the shirts, we're seeing kneeling before football. What more do you want them to implement so this isn't just a phase, this is a continuous effort?
I think it's more an infrastructure because, again, I was looking at the Football League today and I saw 6 black managers out of 92. I mean, we need more decision makers at the top level that are black, because when Raheem Sterling wants to speak out, when Tyrone Mings wants to speak out, who's going to support them? And that's why you see them going to these news desks, because they don't trust the sports desk to, put out their message correctly. And I think, the more equal representation we get in the game, the better for the game all round, because then you see diversity, and with diversity comes better performance.
Deji, I want to talk about the fan experience from a black perspective of going to games. It's something that's not really spoken about. What's your experience been like? I know you've been to plenty of games over the years. What's your experience like as a black fan going to watch your club play? Has it been uncomfortable or has it been relatively sort of peaceful going to watch games?
Mainly in the whole, I would say peaceful. But there was one incident I remember earlier on this season. My mate plays at a League One club. They're based in the north and they had an away game in London at Southend. And I remember at half time, I actually took Dot along with me as well. And there was a time in the canteen where obviously it was a predominantly white crowd. A few lads came up to me and sort of said, "What are you doing there? Who are you here to see?" And I mentioned the name of the player and they're like, "Oh, he's rubbish." And I was thinking, that's a bit odd. Why are you going to say that? And obviously the player's black. So I think racism as well is not only what's said to you, it's how people make you feel. And I have to say in that moment there, I felt very, very uncomfortable. But again, this Black Lives Matter movement, I think this is going to be pivotal. I've got a lot of friends that are footballers, some that play abroad in Italy as well. I just spoke to one of my friends, he plays for Torino, and I'm not sure if you've seen the picture of a black man kneeling for Andrea Bellotti. And he sort of told me before we came live on air that, you know what, fair play to the club. They called me and they apologized and said that the picture was insensitive. And I just think holistically, this is going to need government intervention for, you know, these laws to pass. And it might not happen in 6 weeks, 6 months, but over time, the plan is for everything to be equal, because we're not asking for much. All we want is parity. We're not asking to be treated special. And I think we're going to start seeing that this, you know, obviously George Floyd passing will be the catalyst for good.
Clinton, what's it been like as a player? We know, we hear from Deji there in terms of a fan going to matches. It's been uncomfortable. What about a player? Chris Kamara recently spoke about him getting a lot of racist abuse and needing police escorts. What's your experience been like?
Nah, I've never really got it too much in England. I was quite fortunate, but obviously being a black guy playing for the Republic of Ireland was major, because you make a big decision to go and play for Ireland, and there's obviously not a lot of black people at that time had been playing for Ireland. There's a few. There was like legends like Paul McGrath and obviously Chris Hughton and Phil Babb and people like that. So I went over there and I was playing for Ireland, and then I got letters that came through because I only realized this when my old manager said recently he had letters. Brian Curry was my manager for Ireland. Said he had letters through saying, "Why are you playing Clinton Morrison?" And he was like, "Why shouldn't I not play him? He's a good player." "No, you shouldn't be playing him. He's not Irish, and he's black this, and he's a so and so and this and that and stuff like that." So I thought to myself, you know what? I kind of shut it out when the letters were coming. I don't even entertain the letters. I just throw them away. I didn't really have I should have come out and said to people how I was feeling, but and it's kind of my own fault. So I feel like now when I want to speak on it, and I've got the platform to speak on it, where I'm working on Sky or working on other channels, I'll speak out and tell people how I feel about it. And it's also like I went to Russia and played a game in Russia. Wow, the noises that I heard directed at me when I come off that pitch, I was hurt. I wanted to go and challenge all the fans. It felt like there was loads of fans in the stadium, but I literally wanted to jump over the fence and go and challenge them because I was hurting that much. But I thought, you know what, the best thing I did, I put the ball in the net and scored, went over to them and celebrated in front of their faces. It wound them up even more. So I was one of those who kind of wound people up. But if I'd known what I'd known now, I should have came out and spoke about it more. So that's why I say credit to all the players now that are speaking out. I'm learning all the time. I should have come out and spoke about it, but I'm learning now. It's good to speak about it now, and it's never too late.
Why do you feel, Clinton, that a lot of players back then maybe didn't speak about it? Did you feel like you didn't get the support from the clubs, from your fellow players? Why? Because I've spoken to Emil Heskey, I've spoken to Ian Wright about this as well, and they all say exactly what you said, that they wish they spoke out then. Why didn't you speak out then?
It's a difficult one. It's such a hard one. Was I big enough to come out and speak about it? That's why I look at myself. Was I a big enough player? Or I should have thought to myself I was a big enough player. I played international at the World Cup. I should have. But was I big like a Raheem Sterling or a Marcus Rashford? And did I think people would come and listen to me? That's why I have to honestly credit the way Rashford and Sterling are going about their business, in particular Sterling about the Black Lives Matters and stuff like that, because he speaks sense and he speaks it and he speaks from the heart. I'm still learning about my history. At my age now, I have to go and speak to my mum and my dad. I'm still learning about it. So I can come here and I can preach to everyone. I don't know it all. I don't know it all. And what I would say on the subject is, and I have a lot of criticism, like when I've come out before, I did something for Sky and I came out and was speaking about the Black Lives Matters and the movement of it and what we're trying to do, and everyone's together. When they're protesting, you see a lot of white people protesting with the black people, which I find really good, is that I lost followers. I lost like 200, 300, but I don't care about losing followers. I could have 0 followers. I don't care. I'll keep speaking on these platforms and educating people and trying to get them to move in the same direction. It's not black versus white. We're together. We all bleed the same, you know. We're together. We're all trying to do white lives matters as well, you know. It's just at the moment we're talking about black lives matters because of all the things that have happened before in the history, and we're trying to make it stop and move forward. So I know I'm getting passionate now because now I'm thinking about things and it's kind of getting to my heart. So I'm trying to say, because it's not white against black. We're both together. It's black
It's
and
humanity
white
against racism.
It's humanity against racism, and we're trying to tackle it. And we're seeing little baby steps at the moment, which I'm super proud of.
We are seeing baby steps, and hearing from all of you guys, I can hear the passion in all you guys' voices, and I'm sure that it's that kind of passion where baby steps will turn into big steps. Project Restart, the Premier League is finally back, slightly different, no crowds, that's been replaced by crowd noise, 5 substitutions instead of the 3, and 20-minute water breaks as well, every 20 minutes, sorry. as a fan watching it, is it taken away from your fan experience, or are you just still happy that finally Premier League football's back?
To be honest, beggars can't be choosers. I'm very happy and delighted that football's back. I think the added crowd noise that Sky Sports and BT Sports have implemented has been, you know, crucial to the viewing of the game. And I think I just want to see football, and I want to see good football. I'm not convinced on that 20-minute water break, because I don't think players are actually tired at that time. I think that's something they may need to look at. To be fair, I'm quite shocked by the quality. I think the quality has been better than I expected, because when I watched the opening weekend of the German League, it looked devoid of quality. But I think the Premier League has started off to a good level, and a lot of players seem to be fitter than I expected. And I can't wait to just see the culmination of the Premier League.
Clinton, you've obviously played in front of massive crowds before.
Yeah.
Surely these players playing in front of nobody, all right? We're talking just a handful of stewards and club teammates. It must be weird playing in front of nobody. I mean, when you want that extra 10% from energy that you would normally get from the crowd, it's not there. It must be weird playing in front of nobody.
Well, I tell you, it would have been a struggle for me, because I loved playing in front of fans, winding fans up, them shouting at me, having a goal, me scoring, winding them up, and them just shouting abuse at me, because that spurred me on. I like the crowd. Some players, I like to play for the fans and stuff like that. I liked having all of that banter. But some players, it might benefit them, because you know, if a certain fans are having a go at a certain player, and then he crumbles, and you try certain things, you think, oh, I'm scared, I'm worried about what the fans are going to say. But so it can benefit different kind of players. It is different though. I've been to a lot of games and there's just no atmosphere. You have to make your own atmosphere. So it is totally different, but you have to realize we're just happy that the Premier League's back and we're seeing football again. It is difficult without fans though, because fans do make football.
Dej, do you join in that as well, that it's difficult, but we're just happy to see it back? Or are you watching it at home thinking this is difficult without crowds?
I think fans are the lifeblood of football, and that's what we're seeing. I mean, it's like going on a jog without no music. When you go on a jog with music, or you go to the gym with music, you're more pumped, you've got more energy. And I think when you ask the players, or if you speak to them, they want the fans there. But again, something's better than nothing. As a fan, I'm just happy to see the Premier League. And obviously, as a Liverpool fan, this is a countdown till we lift the Premier League. So I'm not complaining at all.